Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Century Countess. This is Reaper here, and this is a mini update for the week. So, as you know, this month of October has been pretty hectic for me. October is the busiest, probably the busiest of my year, but it's been even more busier with some extra stuff that I wasn't prepared for. Some of it has been fun, but a lot of it has been intense. A lot of it is adult life shit to benefit my protection, such as my health insurance, yada yada yada. That type of gig. And making my life better. And there has been some sacrifices I had to put aside. For example, and I've mentioned this in the past video, there's this paperwork for this program that comes out once a year. And if you fill it out sometime within next year, sometimes in March, I think, you'll get a check for the amount of money that wasn't used in what electricity and water you haven't used. I've done that for a couple of years. I've always got a notification that I'm getting a check. No check has shown up. It's only shown up once. And, but the last few times I was promised a check and it never came. When there was notifications that, hey, you approved, you get this amount in a check. So they tell you how much you're going to be getting, how much is coming. But, none of those checks except one popped up. So I have decided not to do it. I've stopped doing it. However, there is a person here who talks about it endlessly. Endlessly. Like, literally, even when it's not going on, if they see me, I am trying to start my day, I'm trying to run my errand, and there's no way getting bypast them. Because they have to talk about it like they're a representative. Because ever since I know this person, I knew this person from transitional housing, and ever since they had this EC position, they feel like they're an overseer of people's life. And I guess because since he knew me back then, he still thinks he's in control, when he's not. He's just a regular resident like me. So it's gotten to the point, I did vent to a friend, and a friend of mine just said, tell him to mind his fucking damn business. If you have to get aggressive, get aggressive. Just say that and he'll leave you alone. So my plan, because tomorrow we're going to learn some updates about our building. And it's probably going to be more... Some of it sounds very important. But fingers crossed it is 30 minutes long, or maybe 30 or less than 30 minutes long, because it's set from 11 to 11:30. And I'm hoping it's not long, because that person is also connected to the organization that got me this housing. So they're going to be at this meeting, because I know they're going to bring up that Pacific sheet, and he's going to spend the next remaining minutes to talk about it. So my plan is to probably bounce. I'm just going to flat out tell the people, it's like, well, I have something I have to do, so I got to bounce. Because my plan, I want to make sure I avoid this person as much as possible. Because let's just say it, you hear this BS about this program non-stop. It gets old. It's like you already know the details about it from them. You don't need to hear it again from them, because they have that extra time. In all honesty, I think they need to get a work application and start working for them, because the way they praise it, the way they talk about it, there's some people who can't do it. Also, there's some things that I really want to make sure I heard wrong, because the last thing I need to find out is everything's being moved electronically. Normally, I'd be okay with that. It would be less stress on me. But since there is rumors that not only our manager, but the person in charge of keeping this building going is under investigation for possible fraud. And there was a story that a resident somehow got their money taken because they were doing it electronically. I've been kind of nervous if we're forced to do that. Plus, I don't think they're thinking, because there's some people here, we're talking about like people who do not use internet. They have a cell phone, but the only thing that they use their cell phone for is to call or text. They don't use the internet. And these are the people that it's going to hurt if they are forced to do stuff electronically, because they're not going to be able to keep track of it. They're not going to even understand it when you show it to their face. And I'm sorry for scratching my back, but my back is itching like crazy. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm hoping I heard wrong, because it's not just for rent. It's for maintenance and everything. And it just tells me, what's front desk for now? What is front desk for? Because it's almost like they're trying to... Front desk, in the beginning, when I first moved in, and this building was up to, we're talking about up to code, people did their job, etc. Front desk was in charge of, maintenance slips, rent slips. They were in charge, let's say there was packages, they were in charge of packaging. They were, there was other thing, I can't remember what the other thing is right now, but there was 2 other things that they're doing. Now it's just nothing. Nothing. And because of that, front desk has been getting bored, and I've noticed a lot of them have been shopping while on the job online and talking, making social calls. And we're not talking about social calls as in calls to residents to see how they're doing. They're just talking about their own life and what they plan for the weekend with their friends. Very unprofessional. And it's now, if this is true, that everything's moving electronically, it's going to suck, but it's going to basically mean front desk has more time to play. And it's already bad enough when people come in for donations, or Amazon's making deliveries, and people want their item to be delivered at the door, and front desk isn't there because they've gone to socialize. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I'm hoping what I overheard is wrong and that doesn't happen, because seriously, it's like everyone's trying to figure a way to make it to where no one doesn't have to do a job here. They just sit here. It's like employees can get paid by doing nothing. And that sucks. So yeah, this is a rant. So I just hope the meeting is short, and I hope it's straight to business, and there's no one, if that Pacific program that I will not name, for privacy reasons, because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get sued. I don't want, when it's brought up, I don't want this person standing up, going back to the person, I don't want them standing up and taking the rest of the time talking about it when there's other stuff that needs to be talked about. And if it happens, I'm just going to, I don't know, I'm going to have to, if no one else does it, I'm just going to, I don't know if I'll do it, but if I get the courage to, I'm just going to flat out say, there's other stuff, Crystal, there's other stuff that the staff people here there's other stuff where the staff people want to share. If, it would probably be best if you wait till after the meeting to share it with whoever wants to hear it, who would like to hear more of it. But until then, I would like to know what the rest of the things the staff has to say. So could you please leave your praise of such and such after the meeting? And leave it there. I don't know if I'll do it. I'll probably not, unless I get to the point where it's like, because I'm at the point of breaking, you guys. I'm at the point of breaking, because it's like when you hear something yearly that only happens once a year, every time somebody sees you, and then they have to basically play solicitor salesman about it, it gets old. And there's times where you want to have that courage to tell somebody off. But here's the thing why I'm concerned is because I've seen this person angry. And when this person gets angry, they make a deal about it. This person got angry because of a situation that I was in. I was a witness against his friend because his friend decided to bully somebody who had cut off his family because they did not support their sexuality and they had suicidal tendencies. This friend of his found out about it and basically triggered this person. Triggered them bad. And I was working in the kitchen when the incident happened, and I not only saw it, I overheard it. Now this man was a full-grown man, and I have never seen a full-grown man break down. And then here's this other full-grown man who's laughing at the fact that he just triggered somebody. Had no remorse. And he got penalized 38 penalty hours for it. And when we were living in transitional housing, you had to do, I think, 15 or 20 hours a week volunteer shifts because it was a volunteer run building. So the building didn't run properly unless there was a body working the front desk, working the security, working the kitchen, etc., etc., etc. So you have to work 10 hours a week. Well, not 10 hours, 15. It's either 15 or 20 hours a week. And if you get penalized, those hours do not count in the penalized hours. And I remember the guy got 38 penalized hours, which he had to complete within 2 weeks. So he had extra shifts, and he basically showed his bitterness. And I don't know what he told this guy, but I've seen this guy get angry, and this guy came to his defense. So, worst case scenario, if I were to tell this person off, this person is going to get very aggressive, because when he's passionate about something, or passionate about somebody in his friend circle, he gets aggressive. So that's a reason why I'm not too sure if I should basically, hey, wait until the end of the meeting, and then for those who want to know more, they can go to the staff people or to you. But right now, I'm sure, like myself, other people would like to know more stuff about the other stuff, more info about the other things. So let's see, we're 13 minutes in. So okay, Halloween week is here. I have not gotten paid yet, but I did check, and hopefully let me look at the calendar, either tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday, I should be getting my first check, which I will use to pay my last bill of the month. And then whatever is left will be for the Halloween get together. Next, Halloween week. I'm going to refer to it as Halloween weekend, even though Halloween will be much over after the 31st. So the 1st and 2nd is going to be my 2 busiest days. Because We have a LARPing community that we join that happens every other month. I mean, every other week. Every other Sunday of every other week. And also, there is a convention happening as well. That is, I can't forget what it's called, but I nicknamed it KittyCon. It's basically not a cosplay or anything. People can show up in costume, but it has to be cat themed. It's basically for cats. Like if you want to adopt a cat, they have places where you can look for to adopt. Sometimes they'll have cats there that you can adopt already. They have little cat treats, you name it, cat treats, cat toys, cat items you can buy, or sometimes they'll be for free depending on what it is. They'll have all that for you. And old games that are cat related, or connected to the cat family. For example, I remember last year they had Sega Genesis Lion King. I think it was Sega Genesis, I can't remember, but it was a game that I remember playing when I was young. So we're going to be going to that. And then let's see, what else? And then I think also is the potion making. We're going to be making some beverages in the forms of potion for the LARPing event. The costume behind me is going to be what I'm going to be wearing, or hopefully going to be wearing. And then let's see what else. Drag Sisters is back home. They are staying somewhere, and we hung out a few times already. When they finally got into town, they came over for a few hours to hang out at my place with my friend Chunky. And then, yes, it was Saturday. It was Saturday. It was yesterday. They hung out with us with a small get together. We were helping out some friends, and we were having a lunch meeting to discuss the situation. And long story short, problem has been solved. Let's see what else. So the next thing that I have to focus on is tomorrow's meeting. Fingers crossed that the thing that I have mentioned that has never been mandatory isn't dubbed mandatory, because I have no time for that, because I have other stuff I have to do. Fingers crossed that if I have to encounter this person, my response to them, they'll respect the fact that I don't want to hear it anymore. And if they continue, I'm just going to walk away. And if they think I'm rude, fine. Because they've not only cocked me about that, they've been hinting at other stuff. For example, I think they think I'm not looking for housing because they have asked me how long have I lived here, and they have made little hints, this place isn't supposed to be permanent, you should really consider applications such as anywhere, even in Tacoma. And he keeps bringing up Tacoma. And then they talk about how they've just got selected to take part in this housing in a housing program. And this was last year, by the way, and they said they were moving. They're still here. So don't talk about my housing issues when your own housing issues don't seem to be working for you. Also, I am not moving to Tacoma because I overheard you talk negative about Tacoma. And here you are trying to advise me to take applications. So the next time he mentions that, I'm going to flat out say, is that where you're moving to? And if they pause and say no, then I'm going to flat out say, well, I'm not moving there too. But if you must know it's none of your business, but I've been in the works, and that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. That's all you're going to know. I'm not sharing with you. I'm not sharing any more info with you because that's my private information. But one thing I would love to say to him, I do not appreciate that you're hinting at basically saying that I'm a slacker. Because I'm not. I have my own way of working with things out. You have your own things of working things out. And it's worked for me, but the people who don't understand how my methods work basically call me a slacker, and I don't appreciate that. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Like I said, the biggest event is tomorrow, which is the meeting to find out everything. I will update you on how that goes. Till then, I am signing out, and fingers crossed, the meeting is quick, it's fast, it has the info that I need, and what I am dreading is not what I heard. In fact, if what I heard is right, it will be an option, not a mandatory. Because if it's made mandatory, my first question is to them, because I normally don't ask them questions, but my question is to them, how are you going to handle the people who don't use internet? How are you going to handle the people who don't, you're going to show them how, but they're not going to know what the hell you're talking about, because one, they don't use the internet. So they're going to be looking at you like you're learning another language. So how are you going to help them? And do they really think it needs to be mandatory? So all I can say is just two things I ask is that you keep your fingers crossed, send good vibes, send a good luck spell if you can, that tomorrow's meeting goes quicker than 30 minutes. The thing that I'm dreading is not mandatory, but optional if it is what I heard. The whole thing with the program, that name I will not mention, that this person's going around soliciting and praising like he's a salesman of it, is not mentioned, or if it is mentioned, it's short and sweet, and I can get out of there if they decide they want to make a big speech about it. So please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit that bell if you want more, because I do more than just life updates. I do costumes, I do character, I do little skits, I do projects, you name it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.